Starboy, one of my favorite songs of all time. Is there any other song in the world that when you hear it come on, you get a dopamine rush as big as Starboy? Like, instantly my eyebrows perk up, my ears twitch, and I'm just ready to go. You know what I'm talking about? But you know what would make it even greater is if we could understand what the heck it means. And today, I'm going to break it down, but it's going to take me some time because this is a long story. This is a story that doesn't begin with Starboy, because if you notice in I Feel It Coming, there's the beginning of Starboy happening at the end of that song here. To understand Starboy, we have to actually understand I Feel It Coming. And to truly prove what I Feel It Coming means, I need to link it to another Daft Punk involved song, which is Instant Crush. You see, there are these parts in Instant Crush that are identical between the two music videos, and as you'll see, they have the same director. And so to understand where Starboy is coming from, you have to understand those two songs as well. So we're going to get into that, but you're also going to have to understand some other stuff too. Like, you're going to have to understand the movie 2001, A Space Odyssey a little bit, which is a movie by Stanley Kubrick from the 1960s. You're going to have to understand a little bit about a 1970s music video by the Jacksons. And you're going to have to understand a little bit about Daft Punk's music video for Epilogue, which dropped as they began their hiatus or possible retirement last year. You're going to be taken on a ride through spirituality and the next step of human evolution by the end of this video. So if that sounds like too much for you, you don't feel like having your mind blown right now, that's all good. It's all good. For the rest of you, just get ready for a wild ride. Okay, now back to Starboy. Starboy is a song that makes you scream, turn it up when it comes on in a mix. It's a song that instantly makes anyone feel like a star themselves. From the perfectly constructed beat to the untouchably beautiful vocals and crisp, cool lyrics, it is an absolute masterpiece. It is probably the best pop song of all time, in my opinion. But that is in sharp contrast to the lyrics, which are anything but complimentary to the listener. Right from the jump, we are told that we are insignificant compared to the Weeknd, and he wants us to feel that. He wants us to consciously feel the glory that he experiences in his own life, while subconsciously knowing that we will almost certainly never achieve this goal ourselves. Or will we? Why? The reason for this is extremely deep and spiritual. Consider for a moment that the Weeknd is not putting you down for fun, but like a cool and popular older brother, he's putting you down like his wimpy younger brother in the hopes that you will be emboldened by this diss track that he's made to you, and you will somehow figure out how to mimic his success. He wants the best for you, and putting you down is part of that. We could also compare this to like a Zen master. There are stories about how people wanted to enter a Zen monastery, and the Zen master would make them stay outside for like weeks before they would let them into the monastery. It seems cruel, but it serves a purpose. You have to really want it. This is also shown in Fight Club, when they won't let people into Fight Club unless they stay outside and they hear all of this abuse, and they can take it, and it doesn't dissuade them from wanting to enter the club. But we need to take a step back now. We need to first examine two other music videos, which are I Feel It Coming and Instant Crush. And I've made a video about these before, which I'm going to include clips of now. If you've seen my video before and you don't want to watch that stuff again, I've made some chapters down below so you can skip the stuff that you've already seen and just go to the new parts. After Daft Punk split in February of 2021, like many of you, I put away all other music for a while and I focused on the robots. Time and time again, I came back to one music video, Instant Crush. I was watching it nearly every day, and a hidden meaning started to reveal itself to me. The weird thing was, I realized that this music video shared its hidden meaning with another song that was only featuring Daft Punk. I feel it coming. The similarities were too numerous to dismiss. But why, I wondered, would Daft Punk include the same hidden meaning in a song that they were just a feature on? It seemed like a reach. I searched for a bridge between these videos. What was their connection besides a Daft Punk feature? And then I found it. The two videos had the same director, Warren Fu. Both music videos start out with a man. This man represents a man with a capital M. He represents our spiritual journey as humans. Not just male men, like M-A-L-E men, though. I mean this like Neil Armstrong said, one small step for man. So it includes women too, all of mankind. Both of these men wear a symbol. Julian Casablancas' mannequin is wearing a military hat. It has a symbol of an eagle carrying a snake in its mouth on it. I wasted too much time trying to figure out what country had a hat like this, but it seems to be from the 19th century, possibly from the French military. Daft Punk is French. The Weeknd is wearing a gold cross. How could these two items be linked? The snake, which is also in the Weeknd video, represents the devil. But this is not a personified devil. This is the devil within. Julian's character represents the eagle of freedom that conquers the snake within. The sadness, hopelessness, worry, and longing in the mind of his character is the snake. But remember that Julian represents man with a capital N. This will explain how man permanently escapes the trap of the devil. Remember, it was the serpent that gave Eve the apple in the Garden of Eden. To return to paradise, man will need to conquer that which the devil gave man, the ability to know good and evil. This is duality. Julian will need to make us all whole and one again. Good and evil will need to be seen as illusory, part of a higher plan, the plan of God. Now look at the Weeknd's cross. It is the symbol of Christ. Christ is the one who said on the cross, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." In Christ's forgiveness, he dissolved duality. He didn't rely on his own judgment of right and wrong. Instead, he gave his pain and suffering up to God, and thus transcended good and evil to the higher plan of God. In this, he was resurrected. Now I have to backtrack, because these characters didn't do that yet. That's what the video is going to be about. So this is just the start of the story. They are just normal men still, but they wear these symbols to show us their destiny. So to both of these men, a woman comes. A woman who, in one case, is veiled in light, and in another case, is veiled in cloth. They both are revealed then, first showing one eye. The one eye sign is very important in both of these videos. The one eye sign represents enlightenment. The one eye sign represents consciousness. More on that later. Both men quickly fall in love with these women. You might say they have an instant crush. Notice how they both meet under this beam of light from the ceiling. In the instant crush video, it almost makes sense as they could be lit from the building lights. But why are they lit from above like this in the I Feel It Coming video? It's simply to show that these two videos are linked and that these characters are archetypal characters. They are a symbol of human love and duality. Duality makes human love, or wanting another person, possible. Let me explain. Romantic love, in the way humans see love, is only possible if we see ourselves as separate from others. We choose one person to marry, we single that person out, and we make them special in our mind. This might be seen in the animal world sometimes, but it's due to instinct, not a mind or ego making a choice. The ego is an illusion. This is going to be very deep, but look at the pillars behind Julian Casablancas. The esoteric meaning of pillars from masonry is that they represent male and female. Notice that the pillars are not really there, though. They're an illusion formed by the oneness that separates them. The individuals are the illusion, and the oneness is the true reality. The oneness is the consciousness that we all share. Next, we see a montage in both videos. In I Feel It Coming, we see stars, planetary alignments, and an eclipse. This shows long periods of cosmic time changing. This is evolution. This is the changing of an age, perhaps entering the age of Aquarius. As mentioned, this music video shares the same themes and styles of a similarly titled music video by the Jacksons called Can You Feel It? And that song was about the changing of the ages and entering into an age of universal love. In Instant Crush, we see the deep-sea diver exhibit in the museum is being replaced by an astronaut. This shows the passage of time as well throughout human history as people's heroes changed from divers to space explorers, moving us closer to the Aquarian Age. Next, tragedy strikes both characters. In Instant Crush, Julian is removed from the museum. His time is up, and he is moved to storage. This is the worst of all of his fears coming true. He will lose what he wants more than anything in the world, to be with his spiritual other, his spiritual wife. Abel's spiritual wife turns to stone and falls down on her side. Notice how both women in the two videos fall on the same side, both unmovable statues. The Weeknd reacts to this horrific event by trying to grab the snake. This is showing that he is trying to hold on to duality. Everything in this dualistic world we live in will one day turn to dust. Abel turns to dust trying to hold on to something in this world, like Ozymandias. On the other hand, Julian's character uses this moment to go within. Instead of grieving over the loss in his mind, he finds enlightenment in his darkest hour as light shines through the window, illuminating a one-eye symbol in a painting. Now, I'm not an art connoisseur, and I'm not sure if this painting is famous. You can let me know in the comments, but to me, it looked like the movie poster for Eyes Wide Shut. So I looked through the director's Instagram, and sure enough, Warren Fu is a huge Stanley Kubrick fan. And you know, Eyes Wide Shut has a lot to do with connecting this one-eye symbolism to secret societies, which we could even say have to do with being illuminated or enlightened. So it connects all of the one-eye symbols that we see in this music video to secret societies and esoteric knowledge. It is known that The Weeknd is a huge Kubrick fan. And when he saw this painting in the Instant Crush video, The Weeknd must have recognized it as looking like the cover of the movie Eyes Wide Shut. Weeknd later used the Eyes Wide Shut motif in his Save Your Tears music video, so I'm positive that he noticed this. Julian Casablancas, the narrator of this scene, points with his two fingers to his mind, and then magic happens. We see that the female mannequin falls to the ground because of a miraculous electrical fire. The two hold hands, and we see their one-eye symbols as they melt into one. Now, I said they hold hands, but notice they don't really move their hands because they're statues. They have to depend on outside circumstances to bring them together. And that's another big part of non-duality, or the end of duality. We start to see that all of the things that happen in our life are actually influenced by the outside. We always think we are the doers of our actions. However, you could also look at life as one big miracle, since we are so much intertwined with external reality. Like, is there anything that you could do, or is there any way you could be who you were if it weren't for the world out there? Perhaps they're one and the same. They're all part of the same thing that's going on. So this magic that occurs where they're brought together in the end, this could be taken literally. the Julian mannequin used the law of attraction and his newfound enlightenment to will this event into being. Or we could take this as metaphorical. The Julian mannequin realized that they were not really apart because everything he loved about this other mannequin will always remain in his heart. The truth of reality is that we are all interconnected. We are all one below and above the level of our human ego. It is human thought that makes intellectual divisions between things. There's not really any you, and there is no me. Only thought makes that so. So this is the essence of mysticism. This is the essence of non-duality. For more information on how to dissolve the notion of having a separate self from the rest of the universe, you can look into some non-dualistic teachers like Eckhart Tolle, Muji, Ramana Maharshi, or Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj. In the Weeknd's video, we see that we have another version of the main character, like an Instant Crush, how there's two different Julian Casablancases, the mannequin and then the real one. Well, in this case, the first Abel turned to stone, but the second Abel keeps dancing. So they both have these two different characters portraying kind of the same person in the video. Just another similarity between them. And we think that all hope is lost for the Weeknd when he turns to stone, but it's not the end of his story. We see that in his suffering, he has forged a glowing red cross. This was the cross that he died on, like Christ. His death, the suffering, has become his power, because this was not a real death. This was a metaphorical death. And so we hear the sound of Starboy starting up in the background, and we know that he's going to be reborn. Isn't that what Starboy's music video starts with? The death of the old Abel, the ego, and the birth of the enlightened Abel, the Starboy? I think that Abel, the Weeknd, is actually an enlightened master himself. He saw the music video, and he contacted Daft Punk and Warren Fu, and he told them his idea for his variation on the theme for his new album. By the way, this idea of the Starboy, this was also taken from Stanley Kubrick, just like the Eyes Wide Shut poster, because in the 2001 A Space Odyssey movie of Stanley Kubrick's, we see that there's this astronaut, and he loses his only companion, not a lover, but his work partner, as they're flying out to Jupiter in this spaceship. And after this, he's completely alone. And we see all of the planets align, just as we see in this music video. Then we see psychedelic lights in space, just like we see in this music video. And it ends with some strange experiences going on, where we see a lot of this one eye sign from the man who's becoming enlightened.
If I kill any pain.
And then finally, at the end of it, he is reborn as a star child. Star child, star boy, there's a lot of similarities there. So I really think this motif of the one eye sign, space, planetary alignments, and being reborn as a star boy or a star boy child, they were taken from 2001 A Space Odyssey.
You know, transformed and made... you know, into some sort of Superman, and we have to only guess what happens when he goes back.
A star child. The star child is what Weeknd is referencing when he says he was made into a star boy. We can see Abel kill his ego at the beginning of Starboy. The rest of this video depicts Abel showing how he did it. He takes the cross and destroys his old life. Just like Jesus said, "Deny thyself, pick up your cross, and follow me." The cross is seen in his one eye, the one eye symbolizing reunification with the true self, God, destroying his egoic world of trophies and his previous accomplishments. If you can't believe that reunification with God can be depicted by showing one eye, let's look at this quote from the Bible. We see the same one-eye symbolism with glowing colors in 2001 A Space Odyssey as the astronaut flies in the wormhole. This signifies the overwhelming experiences of both wormhole travel and the crazy life of Hollywood fame, driving both men to take a quantum leap in evolution. They both were driven to enlightenment by sheer astonishment and an inability for the ego to function due to the unimaginable circumstances of their lives. Weeknd confirms this when he says, 100 on the dash brings me close to God. He's saying that a life that is out of control and overwhelming, like fast car driving, snaps us out of the egoic experience and forces us to live in more faith with God. This eventually developed into a oneness with his source. That's why he says, look what you've done. We, the public, and the rest of his external world has been such a pressure on him that he basically turned from coal into a diamond, into a Starboy, and an enlightened master. So why all the bragging? He is now showing that he lives a life in such a way as to diminish others' egos and show them that the only way to get to his level is to evolve themselves. Like a strict Zen master, he can be fun, funny, and entertaining, or he can switch up his lane, as he says, and do any style he can. He can be anyone he wants to because he acts in harmony with the whole. He is an enigma, a paradox, and this song is a paradox. It builds you up while it breaks you down, like any Zen master with the best intentions would. Some might say, what about the Illuminati? Where does he address the issue of secret societies? He does this in another music video. There's a music video for Die For It. In this, the Starboy escapes from the evil of MK Ultra, a supposed Illuminati program, and he does it with the power of the cross. The way out of the secret society is to use the power of the cross. This inner child that he depicts in Die For It, this reflects something from the Bible, where it's to become like small children. This is also depicted in Katy Perry's video for Wide Awake when she escapes from these two Baphomet-looking MK Ultra guys by using the power of her inner child, who also flings them away by magically using some kind of power or force. This is probably the most mystical part of it all. By putting ourselves in the smallest possible position, by aligning ourselves with the innocence of a child, and by using the forgiveness and the power of the cross to forgive our enemies, it actually repels them. All bad things in our life can be repelled by acceptance, total unconditional love and surrender to them, which is the message of the cross. While we think that this puts us in a powerless state, it actually gives us complete power, which is a paradox, an enigma, just like the Starboy.
I said at the beginning of this video that there was another video that I connected these two with as well. And it was a video about two robots, and one of the robots blew up in the middle of a desert, and then the other one went on walking towards the sun, while If Love Is the Answer, You're Home played in the background. Can you guess what it was? If you guessed that it's Epilogue, you're right. Epilogue was also directed by Warren Fu. He cut apart the movie Electroma, which was directed by someone else, and then he made that part of the movie his own. It's about the duality of the two robots, and the last robot carries the other robot inside his heart. If love is the answer, you're home. Let's look at one last post from Warren Fu's Instagram. He says, find what you love and let it kill you. Let that sink in. That is the hidden meaning of all of these three videos. Even though in the first two videos, the thing that is loved is a romantic partner, it doesn't have to be. Actually, it can be anything in this world that you're drawn to and that you love, because in this world, we can't always get everything that we want, and even when we get what we want, eventually, because of the sands of time, we are destined to lose it, and this creates great pain. But from that pain, we are led within. We are led within ourselves, and pain can be a great spiritual teacher for us, because The thing that it kills, when it says you, it's not you with a capital Y. It's you with a small y. It's the ego within you. It's the version of Abel, the Weeknd that was killed at the beginning of Starboy. That is Warren Fu's philosophy, and that is the hidden meaning. So, we can find everything that we love in this life, inside of our heart itself. And inside of our heart, that's where we will find home. And we will find everlasting peace. And everything and everyone we ever loved, the essence of them, comes from that love energy within our spiritual heart. This has been the biggest project on this channel so far. It has taken more time and effort to make a long and thought out video like this than a lot of my other videos. So please like and subscribe if you can. It will inspire me to continue making content like this that exposes the hidden genius and philosophy of pop music, movies, and other forms of entertainment that up till now were just subliminal. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Signs and Symbols. My name is Eric. See you next time.